Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So let's just dive in and let's start with this. So first off, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today we're going to be talking about CBDCs, as you guys do see on the screen here. Ripple posted this on the 29th, so just yesterday. They said CBDCs have the potential to enhance innovation, solve for inefficiencies, and increase financial inclusion, but for many, privacy remains a concern. The Digital Pound Foundation, which is a think tank organization, shares more on the considerations for developing a CBDC, with, of course, Ripple being a major player within this. Now, again, I just want to be clear with you guys that the Digital Pound Foundation as well as the Digital Euro Association are two organizations that are not only focused on the planning but the development of CBDCs and how they could boost economic integrity as well as really streamline the entire monetary system. So I am focused on these two. Now, does this give us a clear 100% confirmation that Ripple will play a vital role in CBDC adoption and development? Not necessarily, but I do think that with all of the connections aligning with the United Kingdom with Ripple, for an example, the Swell event, which is happening in November, taking place in London, is a huge one, but also Ripple has been centered on the United Kingdom for a while. They are welcoming in a ton of crypto adoption as well as really kind of moving forward on regulations around crypto. So why wouldn't they be hyper focused on that area? Also, again, Ripple has been marketing like crazy. The United Kingdom has been a clear-cut winner for them to really kind of focus on in terms of marketing. So again, they are making their name known in the UK, and I think that this is very exciting, especially if you are an XRP holder, because we will most likely see a lot more on-demand liquidity adoption within the areas that we are seeing hyper-focus from Ripple, which is, again, very exciting. Now, with CBDCs, we've always been focused on privacy being a big one. A lot of people don't want to give up their privacy within the area of a digital banking infrastructure. And we do see use of physical cash is declining. We are witnessing a growing appetite for digital alternatives, driven not only by the private sector innovation, but also by an increasing recognition from central banks and governments of the role to be played by public digital money, namely central bank digital currencies or CBDCs, in the economy of the future. As both public and private sector research and explorations continue to delve into the design principles and attributions or attributes of these new forms of digital money, there is one topic that repeatedly raises its head as a core discussion point, and for many, an essential feature is privacy. Now, again, I do have my own concerns within this. Now, this does break down on how CBDCs will basically, keep our data private and anonymous. But again, when is privacy not a choice is the big question, because again, like, we want to focus on this because if this does become a reality where we do see CBDCs launching fully into some major areas like the US, the United Kingdom, etc., like, we want to make sure that we have the choice between utilizing cash and a CBDC. But this is concerning, right? Because again, like, when you look at things happening around this system, it's the idea that can users control the transactional data that is made available to the government and third parties? And we do see a few questions up here. They also mention about the transactional data, how it will be collected, stored, and used, as well as shared. For example, what form will the digital money take? CBDC, synthetic CBDC, or another form of digital money, such as a tokenized regulated liability or stablecoin? Who will be the entity responsible for issuing and distributing the digital money? Who will provide the wallets and accounts in which it can be stored, and from which transactions can be initiated? What will the client onboarding process look like? Will any other third parties be involved? In the case of a true CBDC where the Bank of England is issuing and distributing its own digital currency, the bank will determine the data that it wants to collect either directly or via the proposed payment interface provider network. Now, this is a big issue to me. This is a big red flag, because you guys know me. I don't like banks. I don't trust banks. I do not support them. In fact, I think that for the longest time, the banking sector has given us clear-cut evidence that they are not good for the retail sector. They have dropped the ball on many occasions, and I don't believe that these central banks are also going to do a very good job at this as well. And also, having them have the power to collect or even distribute our privacy as well as the transactional data that we will be creating is also another big issue. So when we look at data itself, I think giving full-on control of data to the individuals that are utilizing it, aka me and you, is going to be the clear winner here. But there's going to be a lot of planning around this. We don't know exactly how this will work. We do see some planning within this from major companies or organizations like the Digital Pound Foundation. But it still begs the question on, okay, what's going to actually happen around this? Because it is a very scary thought to have all of your data, transactional data, be kind of thrown out the window and given to major entities like, for an example, I know that a lot of people are worried about, the government having all of our data in terms of transactional footprint in their hands, which, again, we don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but we are watching this very closely to see what's going to develop around this. I do think that privacy should 100% be a key topic to look at as well as focus on. Now, I also want to share with you guys real quick that we will most likely see a UK CBDC, the digital pound, at some point in time. The UK is 100% ahead of the United States. I do think that regulation is being stifled and delayed in the United States, and I think that it's only a matter of time before we have to urgently move forward on regulations. And the reason why I say this is because, like I said, the UK has been moving extremely fast. Just 3 days ago, we seen the UK Committee of Lawmakers approve a stablecoin regulation bill, and this is very exciting because they are focused on the United Kingdom becoming a crypto hub. And if the United States wants to remain a big giant, aka the reserve currency, they will 100% focus on regulations around crypto and adoption of crypto, because if they don't, they will fall behind, and they already have been falling behind. So we are still waiting patiently for this. Now, again, like I said, the UK is focused, hyper-focused. Recently, I just made a video talking about these $130 trillion in assets committed to net zero from the UK, right? Now, this focuses on it. They talk about the climate change, all that kind of stuff, a financial system that supports our climate goals, all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, I do believe that the future financial system, the biggest thing around the financial system, is going to be centered on DLTs that are extremely energy efficient and sustainable. And we actually do see over here from Anderson over on Twitter, we do have a few graphics here. So here you guys have eco-friendly currencies, and you do see the comparison of Bitcoin to Ethereum, to Visa, to even Ripple. Now, we've talked about Hedera. I do believe that Hedera is going to be a clear winner here as well. I think that Hedera and also the XRP Ledger are two great currencies here and ledgers to be utilized within the future financial system. And you can see the comparisons. I mean, like, this is the number of US households that could be powered by each currency, as well as the electricity consumed per transaction. I mean, it's a night and day difference. And this is also why I've said, like, Bitcoin and Ethereum will never be utilized for this specific area. And we do see over here from XRP Environmental Sustainability, XRP could power 79,000 light bulb hours. You do see Bitcoin over here, and you can see that it's 57,000 times more efficient. And then we do see the power consumption down here as well. It's pretty substantial. And then over here, we do see Ripple, a leading provider of enterprise blockchain solutions for payments, is committing to a carbon net zero by 2030, the first company in the blockchain industry to do so. And also, Hedera has jumped on this as well. I think that they are planning by 2050 to have, well, I think that they're actually carbon negative, but they want to focus on net zero for other major companies and really kind of build on top of, like, the enterprise grade area to bring the enterprise grade area to a carbon net zero by 2050. There's a lot of major use cases within the Hedera pipeline that are focused on carbon net zero and carbon efficiency, as well as, sustainability and all that kind of stuff. And then over here, we do have Zange, which, by the way, Zange was a huge connection to the UN. They are focused on crypto, more so, centered on the XRP Ledger. We do see a sustainably run securities exchange operating in partnership with the United Nations. Announced today that it will develop a carbon credit solution on the carbon neutral XRP Ledger. And this happened back in December of 2021. We talked about this partnership. This was huge because this was with the United Nations. You can really kind of tell that the XRP Ledger is like the chosen one around some of the elite names, especially the United Nations. So it really kind of begs the question, like, is this $130 trillion going to be poured out onto DLTs like the XRP Ledger, like Hedera? In my opinion, yeah, they will be. Because when we look at the future of finance, when we look at the financial system that is being built, it is going to be built out on distributed ledger technology. And the reason why I say that is because it would be absolutely crazy to see them not utilize this technology. It makes sense 100%. It's a no-brainer situation for them to do that. Why? Because DLT, and we've already seen the ECB mention this as well as major companies or organizations like the BIS, the World Economic Forum, the IMF, they've all said that DLT is far too efficient to ignore around the financial system. And it could be public or private players around this as well. But this all begs the question on, does Ripple have a lot more NDAs with central banks for CBDCs? Because when we look at CBDCs and when we look at these systems, it's very interesting to see everything moving extremely fast. To me, I do think that Ripple and the XRP Ledger play a vital role within the CBDC infrastructure, and the reason why I say that is because we've been seeing them hyper-focused on this area for a while as well. In fact, over here from Anthony Welfare, who is the global blockchain leader as well as the CBDC advisor for Ripple. And we do see here with Ripple's groundbreaking technology, we can experiment with CBDCs within our existing payments infrastructure while ensuring efficient and cost-effective cross-border transfers. And this is from the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan. They are focused here on CBDCs because they are already utilizing Ripple's technology for CBDCs as well as experimenting with it, and they have already seen incredible efficiencies around this. And this was that video that they posted back, I think it was like maybe 6 months ago or so, centered on Ripple as well as their CBDC solution. You can see that they mentioned the amount of ledgers that they already have and all that kind of stuff. If you go over to Ripple's website and you go to their central bank digital currency area where they are talking about everything that is powering this, you can see that it's all built upon the private ledger that is based upon the XRP Ledger. This is why I say like public or private, because the private ledger basis on the XRP Ledger is a perfect solution not only for central banks but also financial institutions that want to build out on a ledger to power their offerings. And central banks are not going to build out on public ledgers. They're going to be focused on private ledger technology. The reason why is because they want full control over their CBDCs that they are either creating, minting, managing, whatever. So a private ledger would be perfect for them. And this is also why I say like the XRP Ledger has use case potential far beyond the means of whatever we are expecting it to be utilized for. This is, fully focused on banks, fintechs, financial institutions, major banking clients. This is huge. And again, this is fully marketing towards the XRP Ledger. And they also do mention that transact within 2 to 3 seconds because this is also powered by XRP because interoperability enables cross-asset and cross-border transactions when connected to another CBDC. You could utilize XRP as the bridge currency that is going to transact between each CBDC, which is going to be the perfect opportunity for XRP to be utilized within this entire system. And we do see the 2 CBDC trials and partners that they have down here with Palau as well as Bhutan. So very exciting, and I do think that Ripple is going to be a clear winner within this. And they have been, like I said, focused on CBDCs for a little bit of time, going back to the 24th. We did see Ripple talking about at Money 2020 in Las Vegas. They were talking about central bank digital currencies, as well as how they were discussing the money reimagined in the age of CBDCs. So they understand what's going to be happening, and even the Digital Euro Association sees this as well. 45% of the DEA community believes a CBDC should be built on blockchain technology. And we do see David Putz also gave his opinion. Thank you to everyone. Stay tuned to the next DEA question of the month. And here you guys have, based on which kind of technology should a CBDC be built, blockchain or distributed ledger technology. DLT is going to be the clear winner within that area. It is going to power the new financial system. I do believe that XRP, in terms of the XRP Ledger as well as XRP as a token, are going to be playing 2 vital roles within the future of finance and the future financial infrastructure. It's going to be very exciting. We do see down here, based on which kind of technology should a CBDC be built, DLT technology allows every fiat penny and pence to know its own face value, where it came from, and who owns it. At that moment, when digital cash is a true bearer's instrument, we eliminate the intermediaries who are needed today to verify value, source, and ownership. And that is when innovation is truly unlocked. This is why it's such a huge financial stepping stone into the future and revolutionary aspect around utilizing DLT not only for the core infrastructure of the future financial system, but this is why it's very beneficial on why I've always said DLT is going to be the biggest technological advancement in the history of not only finance, but technology itself. This is a huge opportunity, especially for any major, and I say any major central bank out there, financial institution out there, or just bank. This is huge. And I do think that we should all be focused on the UK. They are becoming a major player around crypto adoption as well as regulation. They are not dragging their feet. They are far ahead of the USA. And I do think that it's only a matter of time before we do see Ripple announce some big things within the UK. And I do think that's going to happen within the Swell event. I think that they actually have it pinned over on their Twitter, or I thought they did at least, but it's going to be November 16th to the 17th. This is going to be a huge event. Do not miss this at all. It is centered in the United Kingdom, and it is going to be very exciting. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.